So now Anna Sophia Nath from Trivandrum has a question.
Hi, Riddhima.
Hi.
I really appreciate your work. You're really working for the whole mankind, and that's really an appreciable work. And let me ask you something. As you said, the global warming, carbon emission is the main cause of global warming, and it is the main threat we are facing right now, right? So, you proposed a process called carbon budget for reducing the carbon emission, and what are the statistical process involved in that, and how much is that process beneficial for reducing the carbon footprints and carbon emission?
It's like I have been promoting, like I have been asking people to live a sustainable life, and it's really important because somewhere we are having resources, so it's like. Because at the tourist places, if you see, there have been many people. They have been coming in their cars, like one person in their car, like with ACs on and everything. And if there is traffic jam, still their cars are open. It's emitting the pollution. So I guess if we'll start living a sustainable life, and if we'll start initiating and seeing that what emissions we are doing, it's really going to make a change, and it's really going to change the habit of the people, and it's going so the same habit is going to transfer to their children's and to the generations and generations, and that can really make a change, I guess.
Okay, and there's a concept called sustainable development, like not compromising on development, and in par with that, we are preserving all these natural things. So that concept, how in what extent do you think India is implementing this concept on development and preserving all these natural things?
So your question is how India is implementing these things.
I
In
think half of it has been explained by Ritima already.
to what extent this concept is being implemented on India, and do you think what are the improvements we should implement on that?
Uh, I didn't really. I'm not getting your voice properly. Can anyone?
Sophia, I think Ritima has already answered the question. The part of it she has answered. Yes,
Now, to what extent she thinks that this concept is being implemented in India, like, and what are the improvements we need?
okay. So Sophia wants to know how far India has achieved its
Yeah,
by
yeah, 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 I got it. Yeah,
keeping the
yeah.
balance between sustainability and development.
Mm-hmm. So I would say, I wouldn't say India is not doing anything, but at the same time, India is not really initiating much. They're not really doing much as they should do, because what we have seen is somewhere our prime minister sir and most of the people government most of the time government says that they are somewhere promoting solar energy and sustainable life, and most of the time our prime minister sir have also said that we have to start taking action now. But by seeing the actions of the government, like giving so many forest clearances, and since they have been because we have said we have to move to renewable energies, but India has not really moved towards renewable energy as they should have. So it's there has been little that India has been doing, but still there is a lot and lot for India to achieve in kind of having a sustainable development.
Thank you, Ritima. So hope that's clear. Now we'll move to Palakkad.
Shahana, I am Shahana.
Yes, Shamna from Palakkad. Okay, John.
പ്രകൃതിക്ഷോഭങ്ങളും പ്രകൃതി ദുരന്തങ്ങളും കൂടിവരുന്ന സാഹചര്യത്തിൽ വരും തലമുറയ്ക്ക് കോട്ടം തട്ടാത്ത വിധത്തിൽ എങ്ങനെ വികസനം നടത്താം?
In the face of natural disasters, how can the next generation evolve in such a way that it will not be impaired? That is what
We can do is as we are children, so we can't do much in terms of preventing floods and doing things. But what we can do is as I am creating awareness among the people, and I'm asking the people to change their lifestyle, to have change in policies. So if the things will get changed, if climate change and global warming will get stopped, then all floods and things will decrease, will somewhere will get decreased. So what, as children, what we can do is like we can only just make changes in our lifestyle and can make like the people aware about the phenomena. And I guess after that, do if people do get aware about the thing, if they will start changing their things and lifestyle, and if the government will start making changes in the policies and in the kind of behavioral or in the kind of work kind of they're doing, then I guess we'll have we can prevent like natural disasters such as floods and like droughts and heat waves, I guess.
Okay, let's move on to Ernakulam now.
Hi, I am second year Electronics and Communication student of Adi Shankara Institute of Engineering and Technology. Here, Ridhima, being a climate change activist, I want to know something from you. How do you evaluate the changes occurring in your climate and environment?
So it's like what I basically do is like uh, I do, if there is like a negative effect, I do kind of create I do kind of like present my views on it. I kind of do protest on it, or kind of like ask the people and the government to act on it, so that the same thing doesn't happen in the future. Because if like what happened is like the negative impact that happened is like recently that super cyclone Amphan which we faced. So that was a negative impact somewhere, and it really caused a lot of destruction in India. So I really created awareness. So I tweeted on it. I like posted that on Instagram. I like create awareness among my friends, among my family members about that same thing. And if the effect is positive, I kind of do promote the things, like because uh, what I have seen is like Norway is a country which banned deforestation completely, what I came to know. And what we can say is like Bhutan is a country which is like their poverty rate is somewhere decreasing, but at the same time, they're able to combat climate change. So, what really happens is like it do depends on what are the things and what are the phenomena has been happening. And it's like just presenting, I just present my views on it, and that's all what I can do as person. And if I didn't think the thing what is going on correctly, so I do petition strikes and all that stuff. What I really do, I do my activism basically on the like effects that have been happening, whether it's positive or negative.
Thank you, Parvati, and thank you, Ritima. Now, Gayatri PS from Alapura.
Hi Ridhima, good afternoon. Myself, I'm Gayatri. I'm from Andhra. My question is that during this lockdown period, we already observed that there were no pollution. The entire nature, all the animals are very happy. And everywhere we can hear the music of birds. And even the studies say that the ozone hole is also reducing.
Yeah.
So my question is that do you supporting for a complete lockdown, at least 2 or 3 days in every 1 year? So what is your opinion?
It's a kind of a good question, I can say. So yes, I would say like there's been a lot of changes that's been happened in like during this lockdown in the whole world. But I can say that they should be locked down for like 2-3 days, because it's not an like change which has happened in 2-3 days, and it's not possible for us and even the, we can say, even the country to shut off like all the activities for 2-3 days. But what we can do is like we can think about the factories and everyone. If they'll think about their emissions, if they'll reduce their emissions, then like everything will happen, like everything will be fine, because like the air will be clean and everything will go fine. And I guess changing mindsets, and factories should change their kind of, they should reduce their emissions, their carbon footprints, and government should do things in a scientific way. And after that, I guess there wouldn't be need of lockdown for having like a healthy environment and clean environment basically.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope that's clear. So now let's move on to Kottayam. Rajalakshmi, Adarsh, and Narayan are waiting there.
Hi Ridhima, I am Adira Pradeep. My question is, how are we going cope up with the after effects of forest fire in Amazon and Australia?
So it's like it's very important because we all are aware that why forest fires occurs is basically when temperature get increases and when there is heat waves and everything. They got the forest catches fires very easily. So what we can do is because it's been a phenomenon, like as the temperature has been increasing, more forest fire has been increasing. So there has to be a decrease in temperature, like everything has to get steady, and for that what we can do is like at the same time we have to the whole country has to reduce their emissions. They have to think because the whole climate has been changing, the whole environment system, the whole ecosystem has been changing. So the most important thing is like if the emissions get reduced, if global warming will get stopped, then automatically forest fires and everything will get stopped. So it's very important for like each and every country to start taking actions and to promote sustainability and to reduce their emissions, their country emissions, their industrial emissions. And after that I guess things will get steady and forest fire will automatically get decreased. Thank you.
Hi Ridhima.
Hi.
My question is that
Adarsh wants to know what it's a Adarsh wants you to think of a hypothetical situation where we should expect to face after 10 decades. If we support climate change, after 10 decades, will we be supporting climate change? And if we don't, what will be the situation after 10 decades? He wants to know. Future.
Mm-hmm. So it's like
What we should
knowing what are the
expect
things.
if we don't, what we should expect if we don't support this activities against climate change now.
Mm-hmm. There's only one thing that I can say. What we should imagine is like just a destruction. If we'll not support like climate change, if we'll not start taking actions, then what we can do is like just get ready for the destruction of your future and of the whole mankind, I would say, because climate change and global warming is a kind of phenomena which we can't get rid of it if we'll not start taking actions, because it's not a virus, it's not a disease of which we can make medicine or vaccine. It's a phenomena in which if it will get worse, then we are not if the things will get out of our hands, then we are not able to do anything in spite of just seeing the destruction of the whole mankind and the destruction of our future.
Hello, Ridhima. I'm Akash P from Kottayam. So my question is, there are many funds allocated by the government for protecting nature. So but when we look at the grassroots level, there's nothing left. So many of them officials use it for themselves. And how can we prevent this, and how can we use these resources more efficiently? So that's my question.
Uh-huh. So that's a real thing. What really happens? It's like government has been started many projects because in where I live, basically, there's been a Clean Ganga, Namami Gange project, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and there's been a lot of initiatives that government have taken. But really, on the grassroots level, nothing is happening, as you said. So it's very important for government to take actions, because what we can do is the programs are being led by the government, and that is their initiative. So it's very important for them to start do their initiative well, because what really happens, it's like if government has like initiated for planting 1,000 trees in a particular area, what they'll do is like they'll bring the plants, they'll be bring the saplings, they'll plant them, and after that when they'll plant it, they'll just like they'll click the pictures and everything. Articles will be published in newspapers that government planted thousands of trees in this particular area. But after that, if you'll go like after months or after year to visit that same place, you'll found like some of the trees left, because at this same thing I saw, Namami Gange project planted like kind of I would say thousands of trees at a particular area. So I went there for like my documentary shoot. So when I went there, what happened was like there were not a single tree. There were like the board was driven down, and there was not a single tree. There was just a kind of branch which was having only one leaf in the whole entire kind of area. They put fence and everything over there, but nothing was left there. So it's very important for the government, and if they have taken any initiative, they should like really like take it forward. Doesn't like really just take the thing, do it, and after that doesn't care what happens.
Thank you, Ridhima. You're such an inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you. Al-Amin from Kollam will join us.
Hi, Ridhima. Hi, Ridhima. Amin here. Hope you're well. So my question is, I want to know what is your message? What is your message for children here in Kerala, like who's working for environmental justice through programs like Madhubhumi Seed?
So the message that I have for like children in Kerala who are working who are part of SEED or who are who are doing any of the initiative, I would just say you are doing great, because as I read about SEED, it's really inspiring to know that there's been things that have been happening at a such a ground level and at a such big level. And I would just encourage you to do more and more, and to have more and more schools. So it's like I would really appreciate if I would see more schools joined SEED next year, if I see any of the news about SEED or any of the project that's been happening, because it's a great thing that you have understood the importance of environment and climate change in your life, and you have started working for it. It's like commendable, and I would just say just keep doing your work, and you all are an inspiration for me as well to just continue with my work, because there's been a lot of children acting out there, and it's our future. We have to save it, and just do your best, just do whatever you can do, and I'll always support you. And yes, you are like one of the biggest inspiration for me.
So now Shikha Lubna from Wayanad will join.
The part of Western Ghats which is the rich treasure of flora and fauna. The people in my district conduct hartals and led protest against Madhav Gadgil report and said ablaze his effigy for preparing the same in favor of Western Ghats protection. Currently, they are compelled to lead a tough life, suffering the after effect of two consecutive floods happened in the last 2 years. Those who have thrown stones against and critics of Madhav Gadgil were transformed into his admirers. It is a habit of our society to consider the eco supporters as anti-social. Can you describe an experience like this?
So I would say it's many of the time it's kind of usual thing that happens with me, because most of the time if I take any issue I raise like my voice against any of the issue, what really happens is like people started getting against me, because there's been a lot of supporters of government, so they didn't even think even the government is doing wrong, even the government is doing right, they just support the government. So it's very difficult, I would say, for us to do the things what we want to do as our activism as well. So it's whenever I do my activism, what really happens, it's like people start commenting on you, you are against the development, or you don't want our country to get developed, or
yeah, you are terrorist or whatever. So it's like people do like oppose you a lot, and maybe sometimes you'll face opposition from government as well. So I would recommend to just rather ignore what they are saying and just do your work, because that's what I do basically. Because there's been a lot of, I would say there's been a lot of like people who dislike me or who dislike my work. But at the same time, there have been like many people who support me at the same time. So just concentrate on how many people do support you and how many people are getting inspired by your work, and just see like how much positive impact is your work going to have on the life of like children's and the life of coming generations. And just ignore what people are saying, what they are saying, because I've been like seen like I am a child who is like attention seeker, and that's why I'm doing my thing. Or I want my future to get like so called kind of bright, that's why I'm doing it, or I'm doing it for fame or everything. So just ignore what they say and just do your work. That's been a kind of gold mantra for me, and I guess for you as well.
Thank you. Now, our gem Joyce Matthew from Kasargod. This is the last question of the session.
Hi, Ridhima. I'm Joyce Matthew from Kasaragod.
Mm-hmm.
After every generation, our technology are improving and nature is become weak. So what is your advice for next generation?
For next generation, it's like first of all, it's a big thing that this generation will implement the things in their life. Then we'll like it's very important to like even have next generation, because the things that have been happening, like most of the people are afraid if the next generation will able to come, or if they'll come they'll not even have, they'll suffer, they'll kind of like they'll be coming in a crisis, and where they are not even able to live. So we can't even like imagine of like them for like making changes in their life. So it's been but it's been really important for like the most important thing that I've been is like promoting sustainable life, and reducing your emissions is one of the key point for citizens. For like, because as personal level what we can do is like just creating awareness among our peers, among, in our locality, in our society. And what we can do is like just reducing our emissions, because we can't just go to an industry and say just like shut off your industry because it's doing a lot of pollution, or just like stop like doing your work because you are becoming a biggest threat, because they'll not even like listen to you. It's a work of government to like do the things. But what as person, as a simple citizen, what we can do is like we can reduce our emissions, and we can create a goal for us that we have to reduce our emissions by this, and we have to make people in our society aware about the things, and we have to make sure that everyone in our society is following the rules, is following the norms, and is promoting sustainable life to others as well.
Thank you, Ridhima.
So that was a wonderful session. And Tima, yeah, this is can you just with your words, can you, I invite you to launch the 12th year of SEED, this year's programs. I invite you to launch it through your words. We would like to hear from you. Yes.
So the first time when I got a call from Mr. Anandu for being part of this program this year, so he sent me the concept and everything about seed. And after going through it, it really made me appreciate it, and it really made me kind of encourage that you have been doing a lot in terms of like environment. You are creating awareness among students, among people, and like the students are also taking part very like kind of actively in initiatives created by seed. And you not only like just asked like go to the place and just say you have to do this you really make sure that seed really makes sure that what children have been doing, they kind of appreciate the students as well. So it's a great kind of thing to know as an activist and as a citizen of India, that like there's been a lot of things that have been happening in India, and this school kind of initiative is there like seed. And I would just say, like, keep doing what Seed is doing. And I love the work that Seed has been doing so far. And it's not a kind of thing which started today or tomorrow. It's been thing which has been happening since years, and it has really made an impact, which I can see here, because there's been the questions. There were like many people kids or children of my age or bigger than me who asked me questions. So this really shows their kind of encouragement and kind of engagement towards environment, and how much active they are, how much like they want to take actions, they want to know more and more. So it's been great being a part of Seed this year, and I hope that you'll keep doing your work and you'll inspire more and more children, and more children will get aware through the program of Seed. And hope so that one day will come when there'll be no one in whole India who's been who didn't know about climate change, or who will not take action against it. So just hope for the best. And this I'm always with you guys. You can help, you can ask me for any help or for any favor. I would love to help you out, and I really loved being a part of Seed this year.
Oh. Ritima, can you can you speak it out like I'm officially inaugurating the 12th year of Seed?
Okay, okay. Okay. So should I do it like I'm officially inaugurating the 12th year of Seed, or I'm happy to be a part of 12th year of Seed, and it really inspires me a lot, and hope that you'll keep doing your work.
Oh, thank you so much. Anandu.
So hi Ritima, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity, and it was a great pleasure for all of us to do this with you. And as you know, you have been to all the places and New York and every place. So next time our Gem of Seeds will be joining you to go to New York or some other place where we need to fight for a future. So thank you all, and especially to all the Gem of Seeds who came from across the district. Even though there is a lockdown, we try to adhere to all the regulations, and we make sure that everything is proper. And still, we chose this day because it is that important, and it is very important for our future also. So I'd like to thank all the people who's associated with it, and thank you, Ritima, once again for giving a great start for Seed. And let's hope that next year we will be doing more. So
yeah, sure.
Thank you, Anandu, and thank you, Ritima. Thank you. It was a great session. Thank you for inspiring us with your narrating your stories and activities. I think you have a long way to go. All the best for all the ventures and all the Gem of Seeds. Thank you for joining and making the session live and rich. Thanks again. World Happy Environment Day once again to all. Thank you.
Happy Environment Day. Thank you.